Welcome to DevOps at Hands-On Labs. The purpose of my videos are to help you prepare for Terraform authoring and operations with AWS exam by going through the learning path and doing hands-on labs. Today's video is about Terraform move resources. It's about how you can move resources while you are moving the configuration from your resources from a parent module to a child module. Okay. As Terraform grows in complexity, when you updating the resources can become risky. In that cases, people write smaller modules and move away the resources from the main resource configuration to a child module, right? And you don't want Terraform, and when you do that, Terraform will actually destroy and create new resources, and you don't want that to happen. You just want it to be moved within your configuration, so that the resource address gets updated with the resource IDs. The same resource IDs basically will be used instead of creating a new one. So we will try to understand this concept by attempting a demo today. So let's quickly get started, and it will be much clearer once we do the demo. So I would suggest everyone to also install Terraform and start doing these exercises to better grasp the concepts. So I have cloned the Terraform move repo. I will just quickly add it to my, it should be here, it's already here. It will just take some time. What I can do meanwhile is I'll try to create Terraform. My AWS already authenticated in the Visual Studio, and if I do Terraform in it, it should download all the modules, the security group and everything. So you can see that it's loaded now. You have in my main module, I've got it's got a VPC module. It has availability zones provider, and then basically your security group, right? And if you see here, it's still not doing the same thing. I will quickly open the main.tf from the thing, because I was earlier using certain things and they are missing in it. So I'm going to copy it and paste it here. You don't have to do it. It's because my workspace is not showing the recent configuration because I was working with it earlier. So I'm just going to replace it. Anyway, so if I do Terraform apply, it should create all these resources. So what was missing earlier was that there was an AMI which was missing, and instance, because I was earlier working with setup to understand this, and I am doing a Terraform apply. I have an AMI and instance. Now in this demo, what we will be doing is we will be removing the AMI and instance, and we'll be using and creating a new module, compute module, and we'll move these resources into that module. And and then I'll show you how to do a Terraform install, a Terraform apply, and then what really happens to your configuration, whether it's deleting it, and how we don't want to delete it, but we want to just move the configuration so that it only updates the resource address with the resource IDs, and it will not recreate it. So I also want to quickly look at the resources, and I have data, AWS AMI. It's got an ID. So basically your state file now has everything, right? All the resources that it has created, which is around 24 resources. Now the next part is it still creating? Oh, it's still creating. um, yeah, I'll quickly show you the security group module, what it has. So basically it has a security group resource and an ingress rule and an egress rule. And I think if you look at the instance here, it is using the security group module, security group for this instance. Now what we are going to do in our module is we're going to create a new, so while it is applying, I'm going to create the new folder. I think it should be inside the compute. So yeah, it's already finished, and you can see that as a public IP that's created, which is good. Now the next thing is I am going to create the modules make directory minus p modules and compute, and then I'm going to go into compute, modules and compute. So that is where I'll be creating my new files. So if you see here in my compute, I will be creating a new file, variables. Now if you're wondering how I'm able to create all these things, I'm actually following the lab here, for which I will provide the link so that you can follow as well. And I am copy pasting the variables that will be given as input to this compute module, which is security group and public subnets. Now the next thing is we will take away the EC2 instance related stuff from the AMI, and so AWS AMI and the instance. And copy and paste it to main.tf. Your compute, I'll create a new file called main.tf. And we'll paste it there. Now if you see here, it is already giving us that it needs to be changed. We won't be using the VPC module subnet, we'll be using the subnet that we are getting. And same here, the var, which are the variables that we have defined in the compute module. So we're just updating with the variables. And then finally we will create an output file where we will be outputting the public IP of the to access the instance. So I will create outputs.tf, and I'm going to copy paste from my tutorial and then paste the output. Okay, that's good. I'm just saving everything so that when I apply it's there. Now update the configuration to use modules. Now in here we have to also, now remember we have removed the configuration from here and created here. So the main module also needs to, the main file also needs to reference the module that we have created, right? And along with that we are also making some changes to, instead of using the module security group, we are using a web security group, which basically was making some changes. We're using a different way of creating the, sorry, we are creating a new security group with the module from Terraform. So I'm going to paste it. Okay, so this is the new security group, and along with that we have created a new module EC2 instance, and the source is nothing but our compute file, this one that we are using. And the security group is coming from this new security group that we have added, module web security group security ID, and public subnet is coming from the existing VPC subnet. So these are the inputs. If you look at the variables for this module, it needs security group and it needs public string, and you also need to specify a source for a module, and the source is nothing but your local directory path. So now because we have changed the modules, and I'm going back to the original, you need to reinitialize. Now you can see that it is reinitialized. It will get all the new modules, and now if we do Terraform plan, okay, there's one thing that we need to change. We need to update the output to module. This was remember we got rid of it. We need to just use the new one now. Module dot ec2 instance dot public IP. Okay, so now if we do Terraform plan, yeah, it's creating now. It will tell us what exactly it will change, and you can see that it is destroying something. Okay, so let's see. You generally see the things that are deleted using a negative, so which is it's removing the instance, and it's creating a new instance, and it's removing the security group, and it's removing the ingress and egress roles, right? So we don't want that. We want to move our configuration. So what we need to do is we have to let Terraform know that okay, we are we only want these resources moved. Okay, we don't want it to be recreated. We have the resources already, so we just need to update them. So what are the things that we are updating? We're updating the module security group from SG8080 to the new one, and we're also moving the security group thing that was originally there. So this already exists, remember this, so we are just moving that. And another thing is the ingress rule, the egress rule. We are changing it from the module security group to module security group AWS instance, and the AWS instance example as well. We are moving it from AWS instance example to module EC2 instance AWS instance dot example. So if you look at it, I think so you can see that this is there. So you're telling this to move from AWS instance example to the new one, module EC2 instance AWS instance example. So now we do a Terraform apply. Now once I have updated the move, I didn't do the plan, right? So let's do Terraform plan and see how it changes. So you can see the instance example has moved it from module EC2 instance to has moved to module EC2 instance from something else, right? And same web security group will also be updated in place, and ingress and egress rule will also be updated in place. But there are some changes. So the security groups will, remember we have given a new security group. The EC2 instance hasn't changed much, but the security group ingress and egress, there are some new rules or something. There must be some if there is a prefix list IDs, because we have used a different modules, there might be some changes. So even though it is not getting changed, it's getting updated from by some new configurations, which is fine. We don't care about it as long as the resource is not getting deleted, right? Now if I do Terraform apply, that will work. So remember earlier we had like more AWS instance dot example in Terraform state. So it's done now. Let's try to look for Control F AWS instance. Its type of is it. So now it is changed to module.ac2 instance. You can see that. I'm just checking in the backup file to see how it looks like. So earlier it was managed, mode was managed, and there was instance. One second. Yeah, earlier there was no module. Yeah, now it's changed to a module. So that is how you can move from an existing resource to a new module, and then you can specify Terraform to not delete those instances and only update the resource address with the resource IDs, the new resource address within the resource IDs, existing resource IDs. So that is our demo today on how to use the move configuration to move your resources. If you have any feedback, please let me know in the comments. If you think my videos are helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. This is part of the resource lifecycle, one of the first playlists in Terraform learning path. So I think this completes the Terraform resource lifecycle playlist. I will be uploading more videos in the dynamic configuration. I already have one video about data sources, but I'll be uploading more concepts in my next videos. Please let me know what your feedback is and how I can improve my videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.